There are times when fishermen come across the spookiest, the freakiest, and the strangest things. From weird crawling creatures and dragons to stargazers, sawfishes, and human-like statues, here are things fishermen captured that no one was supposed to see. A sloth. This video was uploaded on the internet a few months back, and as more people watched it, they were all left in shock. A weird creature emerged from the water and was trying to go to the land to catch a breath. To some, it was a mermaid, and to others, it was some alien-like thing. But what exactly was it? Let us tell you, it was a poor little sloth who got into the water and was just trying to get out of it. A strange creature. Even though this thing was found dead on the beach, that does not make it any less terrifying. At first, everyone thought it was just a huge fish which died in the ocean and was washed up by the waves. However, one closer look and they knew it wasn't any ordinary fish. The bulging, horrifying eyes, the weird, hairy, tentacle-like things, and the reptile-like skin all added up to everyone knowing it wasn't what they were thinking. But then what was it? Well, the mystery remains unsolved. An octopus. This massive octopus was caught on camera on a beach. When the people were recording him, he must have gotten annoyed by their presence and thought it better to just escape. And that through such a tiny hole. I've started to think that these octopuses do not belong to Earth. A stargazer. Known for being the terrifying self and the stargazing eyes, this fish is usually found in the depths of the ocean, buried under the sand, peacefully waiting for the prey to come near them by themselves. However, talk and luck, because this fisherman was just on his daily routine, using his fish net to catch as many fish as he can and return back home. But what he actually caught was something he had never expected. A stargazer was found stuck in his net. Now, isn't this the most unusual thing? What do you guys think? A strange fish. What comes to mind when you first see this clip? If you ask me, it looks more like a monkey than a fish, but how exactly is it possible, right? It was caught in Thailand by some fishermen who were shocked to see it just like all of us. This creature, which appeared to have legs and is struggling to get free and get back in the water, could be a batfish too. Don't forget to let us know if you guys have any idea. Dolphin teasing fish. Dolphins are said to be the smartest species living in the ocean, and we can't agree more. There are a number of examples of how smart and playful these beings can be, and one such is this one. This dolphin was seen teasing a seagull, which can be seen sitting nearby. It literally looks like the dolphin is saying, "Look what I have here," and no, you can't have it. But is it really teasing the bird, or is it trying to catch a bigger meal? Well, the question remains unsolved, as the video just ended without having us know. A mermaid. Apparently, some villagers from Russia caught this weird-looking creature that kind of looked like a shark. The thing was making these really strange squeaky noises, so the fishermen thought it might be an alien or something. They even filmed it with their cell phones to show everyone. The video shows the creature's head, body, and this super long tail. The whole thing weighed almost 100 kilograms. Wild, right? Some of you might agree with us calling this thing a mermaid, while others might say it looks more like an alien than a mermaid. Well, both cases can be true, and both cases can be false. A snapping turtle. There was this guy who was freaking out about his flooded pond and went to check it out. But when he got there, he saw this snapping turtle that was totally stuck and couldn't get out. So being the good guy that he was, he knew he had to help the little dude out. At first, he tried pulling it out with a rope, but that didn't work. So he said screw it and just went for it, pushing and pulling with all his might until finally the turtle was free.
Oh, thank God.
And not only did he save an animal, but he also fixed his pond situation. What a hero. Shark's feeding frenzy. While out in the ocean looking to catch some yellowfin tuna, this fisherman ended up in a pretty terrifying situation: a shark feeding frenzy. Sharks are usually solitary diners, and a feeding frenzy indicates why that might be. It looks like the sharks lose their mind, biting at anything that's in their way in an uncontrollable rage. The boat was surrounded, and it looked like the sea was boiling. Even though he made it out of the situation safely, we said it was not easy at all. Electro fishing. Have you ever heard of electro fishing? It's this crazy, super effective, but also kind of brutal way of fishing. So when the US was dealing with too many silver and big head carps, they had to use this method to get rid of almost 90% of them. The thing is, electrofishing pretty much leaves no chance for the fish to survive or even try to survive. That's probably why it's banned in a bunch of countries. Like, I get why they had to do it. Damn, that's some intense stuff. An alien. This video was uploaded on YouTube about 11 months ago and was recorded by a man who was walking along the beach as his usual routine when he came across this strange sight. A lifeless body of a creature which looks out of this world lies right there in front of his eyes. He didn't know what this being was, so he thought it better to record and share it with the world. And, well, social media users ran wild with guesses on what the creature could have been. Some thought it was an alien. Others thought it was just a dog whose body somehow got deformed. Still no logical explanation till this day. Weird carcass. Now you won't believe what washed up on Pukahina Beach in the Bay of Plenty in 2013. It was this super weird marine creature that no one could identify. Like, seriously, what the heck was it? It had this massive head and crazy teeth, plus the little flippers that look like they're barely functional. From the looks of it, it was about 9 meters long, but the lower part of the body was all messed up. Maybe from some kind of attack? The whole thing is kind of mysterious and creepy if you ask me. I wonder what other secrets the ocean is hiding. A wriggling thing. In Australia, a man came across this weird creature hiding under the sand on a beach. The creature wasn't completely hidden, so we can tell that there is something. However, due to being covered, it's hard to tell what exactly it is. Being curious, the man tried throwing a stone nearby just to see if the creature responded, but it remained just as oblivious as it was.
Oh, it looks like whale poop. Ew.
What was it? Neither we nor the man knows. HumanLike Fish. In China, a fisherman recently caught a fish that looks like it has a freaking human face. And I'm not kidding, this thing is totally real. Some folks are saying it's just a regular carp with a weird mutation that makes it look like a person, but others are wondering if it could be an entirely new species altogether. So what's your take on it? Could it really just be a carp, or is this something way more mind-blowing? A moose walking on water. Now, if you think you've seen everything on this planet, you are wrong, because this moose is going to show you otherwise. It was recorded by a fisherman on his boat when it was walking oh so casually on the surface of the water. And no, don't ask us if we know how the moose was doing that. Well, sorry to disappoint, but we don't know it either. But what we know is that the moose did a very cool run until it realized it wasn't on the land and eventually fell into the water. Lantern shark. Dude, you won't believe what these fishermen caught on their boat. It's this super freaky creature with a crazy long body and a glow that looks like something out of a horror movie. Turns out it's called a lantern shark, and it's a really rare species that lives way down in the deep parts of the ocean. This little guy's special though. It's got skin that actually lights up like a dang lantern. Plus, get this, it's one of the smallest sharks around, with some only growing to be about 21 inches long. How wild is that? World's largest stingray. These fishermen in a tiny beach town caught a massive stingray. They were super careful as they hauled the beast onto the shore and were totally amazed as they measured and weighed it. But here's the best part. Even though they were stoked about their catch, they didn't want to hurt the stingray or mess up its vibe, So they let it go and sent it back out to the big blue.
Good luck. That was a huge fish. Nice guy.
This whole thing seriously gives me the warm fuzzies. It just goes to show that we gotta respect and take care of all the cool creatures that call the ocean home. These guys are the real deal. A sawfish. A giant sawfish is one of the most unique and peculiar creatures in the ocean. It looks like a cross between a shark and a ray and is sometimes called the carpenter fish. If you've ever seen one, you might be curious about its saw-like snout and how it's used. They're usually very hard to catch or even see, but these men ended up coming across one washed ashore, and they even helped the fish with their bare hands. This might be one of the most heartwarming clips you might come across. Colossal Squid. A group of experienced fishermen had a once-in-a-lifetime encounter in the deep sea when they stumbled upon a colossal squid, the largest of its kind. They were lucky enough to make a rare catch and bring the creature up alive. The tension was palpable as they cautiously pulled it towards the surface, fully aware of the importance of keeping it submerged. The crew's focus was on keeping the colossal squid alive and well, captured on camera in all its magnificence as it pulsated with life. Keeping this giant of the sea alive was a challenge, but the stakes were high and the fishermen were determined to succeed. Shark versus alligator. We all know that alligators and sharks are two of the gnarliest creatures on the planet. I mean, they're basically death machines, right? But have you ever thought about what would happen if these two wild animals went head-to-head? Well, some tourists in South Carolina found out firsthand when they were trying to feed an alligator and a shark popped up and started messing with the gator. The gator didn't get hurt or anything, but let's just say it was definitely freaked out.
That's hilarious.
It wasn't exactly a full-blown battle, but it was still pretty insane to watch. An alligator. This man was about to jump into the water when he noticed something weird, and as the camera zooms in, we see a gator with its mouth open, being very still and waiting for its prey to come to it by himself. If you ask me, I am not going in the water ever again. A smart heron. If you ask me, I'd say that these animals are getting a little too smart with their hunting skills. For instance, this heron can be seen so skillfully using the food it has in its mouth as bait to lure the fish in. As soon as the fish comes closer, the bird picks the food back. Now, even though the video ended without us knowing if the bird actually got a fish or no, looking at skills, we can say it definitely must have. A strange creature. This video went viral on the internet last year when some researchers, upon exploring the depths of the ocean, found this and decided to upload it. As we can see, a weirdly long creature was captured lying on the bed of the ocean. It was just the creature's bones left as the camera zooms in. Still, it's a big mystery to what it had been. Some kind of dragon? Or maybe the Loch Ness Monster? Who knows, right? As the researchers tried picking up the part of the creature's body, the bones appeared to be too old as they were damaged upon a slight touch. A close call. Okay, so we all know that sharks are pretty fierce predators, right? They chomp on pretty much anything they can sink their teeth into, including boats. And yeah, I'm not kidding. These guys are so intense that even an inflatable boat isn't safe from their jaws of death. But get this. A group of fishermen were out on the water recently and actually managed to survive a close encounter with a great white shark. Some folks say the shark was just curious and wasn't actually trying to make a meal out of the boat. But still, can you believe these guys were actually out there following sharks around in a rubber boat? That's some serious guts if you ask me. Anyway, thankfully they made it back to shore in one piece. An unidentified catch. These fishermen reeled in an unusual catch. The lighting was poor, but you could see a webbed hand peeping out of their net. It's crazy, but it looked like they had caught a mermaid. The video had me on the edge of my seat as the fishermen tried to figure out what they had caught. You could hear the wonder and fear in their voices. The end of the video was so eerie, and we're still left wondering what that creature could be. It's definitely something out of the ordinary. Hand fishing. To some, it might look like the weirdest way of fishing. but don't be surprised when we say it's one of the most commonly used fishing techniques in many areas of the world. We don't know how they do it and how exactly the fish end up in the dry mud and so exposed for the fishermen to easily catch, but well, they just do it like that, like this one did. He caught a catfish from the dry mud near the river with his bare hands. Can you believe it? These men are really talented, right? Fishing with birds. These fishermen in China have adopted the smartest way of fishing. First, they get some big birds. Then they tie them with small ropes and let them go swim in the water and catch fish. The birds eat the small fish easily, but the big ones? Well, the big ones get stuck in the beaks, and that's when the fisherman pulls them back into the boat, gets the fish out of the bird's mouth, puts it in a bucket, and let the bird go in the water again to catch more fish. Now, isn't that smart work? A river monster. While walking along the Caloosahatchee River in J.C. Park, Cape Coral, a woman stumbled upon a huge dead fish that had her totally puzzled. This massive fish was just floating there in the water, and she couldn't even figure out what kind it was at first. After snapping a pic and sharing it on Facebook, someone finally solved the mystery. Turns out there was a hook in its mouth, making it look totally unrecognizable. But thanks to the online detectives on social media, they identified it as an arapaima, a species of fish known for its size and unique appearance. A mummy! Researchers have been digging up all sorts of interesting things from the bogs of northern Europe for over 2,000 years. They found tools, weapons, and even human remains. But one find in particular is super spooky. While clearing a trench in a bog, they came across a mummified man from ancient times. His skin was all preserved and leathery from the marsh conditions, but his bones were still there too. They call him the Old Crawling Man, and he's been chilling in that bog for hundreds of years. But no one knows how he got there or how he died. Some experts think he was sacrificed in a ritual, but there's no hard evidence. Who knows what other secrets are lurking in those water bodies, right? A little guy fishing. Now, this little guy was fishing along with his family, and that's when he caught something. Unable to pull the catch out himself, he had to ask for help. And as the fish was brought out, it appeared that the little boy had caught a fish exactly of his size. Well, talk about how lucky some people can be. A grouper. Grouper fish are no joke. They're some of the biggest and baddest creatures in the sea. Don't think for a second that just because a fisherman caught one and tied it up, it's any less dangerous. Check out this clip where a sneaky grouper saw an opportunity and went for it. It's pretty wild, right? A giant snake. Check out this crazy video from southwestern Brazil where a group of fishermen decided to mess with a massive anaconda in the Santa Maria River. These guys poked the snake with their wooden poles, causing it a lot of distress. The anaconda had just eaten a huge meal, so it was sluggish and vulnerable. Despite the obvious danger, one brave dude grabbed the snake by the tail and towed it back into the river, not once, but twice. The Brazilian authorities weren't too happy about it and fined the group $600 each. It's a good reminder not to mess with protected wildlife, folks. Thousands of alligators. Check out this surreal world where hundreds of crocodiles reign over the river. Imagine being chased by these fierce predators in an eerie waterway. It's like a nightmare come to life. But get this. In a shocking turn of events, the Crocs clear the way for a boat. The man who captured this incredible footage was left speechless. The subscriber's pick. This image was taken from an art exhibit in France that showcases the mysterious inhabitants of the Gulf of Morbihan. If you think these are some real people, then you're wrong. Instead, they're sculptures that explore our relationship with nature. Over time, the eerie figures have adapted to their surroundings, changing colors and textures. It's a fascinating display that changes each time you visit. If you stumbled upon these swamp people without knowing what they were, you might be a little spooked. But trust us, this art exhibit is truly something special and a unique way to experience the beauty of nature. Manatees. You know when you're in a river and you see a big splash but you have no idea what caused it? That's exactly what happened to this couple. The man was dipping a bucket into the river when he threw the water back in and bam! Huge splashes erupted from the water. His wife was quick to capture the whole thing on video. Some people think it might be manatees, but no one knows for sure. Either way, I don't think I'd want to take my chances swimming in that river. Well, that's all for today, guys. Thank you for watching the video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for getting updates related to our latest videos.